بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
So brothers and sisters, we were on Hadith number 613, and as you know that we are in Kitab Al-Adhan. The Hadith number 613 is narrated by Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala an. He said that once iqama was pronounced and the people had straightened their rows, meaning sufuf, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went forward to lead the salah, but he was junub. So he said, remain in your places. And he went out, took a bath, and returned with water trickling from his head. Then he led the salah. Okay? So we covered this hadith, I think, last week. And I told you that our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam forgot that he was junub for a while, right? And you know, when a person is in the state of impurity, then that person has to take ghusl. He has to take shower. Otherwise his salah will not be valid. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam remembered that. So he went. Now the point here is that the iqama was called. Okay? Now remember, when Rasulullah came back, the iqama was not repeated. See? So the iqama was called, and Rasulullah went, and when he said, remain in your places, right? So that was an order from Rasulullah. So none of the Sahabi left. They kept on sitting in their places. And Rasulullah came back and led the salah. Okay? So Imam Bukhari rahimahullah had quoted this hadith in Kitab Al-Adhan to tell us that sometimes there could be a gap between iqama and Allahu Akbar and takbir tahrima. Sometimes it could be. So so this is something that is not wrong. And this hadith also taught us that the Imam could make mistakes, or he could forget. Right? But the Imam has to do the right thing. He went, took shower and came back, and there is no shame in saying what is haqq. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not hide it. Meaning when Rasulullah was coming, he did not use a towel to rub his hair. Rasulullah knew that when he will come back and the water will be trickling down, people will understand that he took shower. Right? But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't care about it. Rasulullah said, let people see, so that Sahaba, the people could understand. In fact, till the day of judgment, the Imams could understand that, you know, they should not feel shy from people. Okay. Okay. Hadith number 614, narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah. He says, on the day of Khandaq, the trench, Umar ibn Khattab went to Rasulullah sallallahu and said, O Prophet of Allah, by Allah I could not pray the Asr Salah till the sun has set. Umar told this to Rasulullah sallallahu at the time when a fasting person had done iftar, meaning now the sun has set. So Umar said that, O Prophet of Allah, I had not prayed Salah today, Asr Salah. Rasulullah sallallahu then went to Butham, and I was with him. He performed wudu and offered the Asr Salah after the sun had set, then the Maghrib Salah. So that day neither Rasulullah sallallahu prayed Asr Salah nor Umar prayed Salah. So the reason for that was that day the fighting was intense, right? So had they left the battlefront, it would have been a chaos. Scores of Sahaba would have lost their lives. So in that case, neither Umar prayed nor Rasulullah sallallahu prayed. Some Sahaba did pray somehow or other, but so here when Umar said, I did not pray Salah, another narration that we covered a few weeks ago, in which Rasulullah also said, I did not pray either. So we learned that sometimes Rasulullah did not pray Salah, but there was a reason for that. Right? That they were fighting. So So first Rasulullah prayed Asr Salah after Maghrib. Then Maghrib Salah. So our ulama have written that if you have missed only 5 Salah in your life, 5 Salah, not more than 5 Salah, then Tartib is wajib. If you have missed more than 5 Salah, then Tartib is not wajib. What it means is that if you have missed 5 Salah, so when you will start praying Qadha Salah, so you will go with the sequence. That let's say I have missed Fajr Salah, so you should first do Qadha Fajr, then Zuhr. But if you have missed more than us, like most of us have in our whole lifetime, then bhai pad lo, whatever sequence you follow, that's fine. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam first prayed Asr, then Maghrib. Okay, next hadith 615. Anas ibn Malik says, once the iqama was pronounced and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was talking to a man in a low voice in a corner of the masjid, and he did not lead the prayer till some of the people had slept. Right? So Rasulullah did not lead salah, he kept on talking to that one man in the corner of the masjid. Remember, the iqama was called, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept on talking to that person. So here there was a gap between iqama and the starting point of salah. Okay? So, although, you could ask that what was more important? Was leading salah or talking to a person? But yeah, when a prophet was talking, it must be of something importance, right? In some masjid, there is this, I would say, wrong tradition that when the clock hits the time of Sunday Salah, everybody assumes that the Imam would be around here somewhere. He will be coming.
Is that Jama?
Yeah. And if the Imam is talking to somebody, people are, so one day I lost temper, many years ago. Not lost temper, but I said in Lord, bhai, sabr. Wow, what is the rush? One miss. So here we have to learn that when Rasulullah was talking to a person, there was a gap, and now that gap was such a big, long gap that some people went to sleep. Some people went to sleep. So when Rasulullah came, they got up and they joined Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. अब ये सवाल मत करिएगा कि did they make wudu or not? Huh?
No, but it was in a sitting posture.
Yeah, that's good. When they were not reclining against anything, so then you can your wudu does not break. So
this was just for Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any imam can do that because this is
any imam can do that. Of course, he has to be sensible enough to understand what is important. What is important. In US, I would say that sometime a non-Muslim comes and he's asking a question. It happens to me a few times. Then just if you cut him off right there, that I have to go. It didn't look good. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, ठीक है. But we should not force it. Okay, narrated by Anas ibn Malik. Once iqama was pronounced, a man came to Rasulullah and detained him from salah. So this another. 617. Abu Huraira said that Rasulullah said, by him in whose hand my soul is. I was about to order. See, this hadith sharif is a very, very hard hitting hadith regarding praying salah with Jamaat. Okay, and this is for men. Right? For women, they can pray at home. But for men, it is a very hard-hitting hadith regarding praying salah with Jamaat. Okay? So, let me tell you two things. One is that praying salah with Jamaat. One is praying salah with Jamaat in the masjid. Second is praying salah with Jamaat at home. Third is praying salah with Jamaat at your workplace or any place else beside your house, right? I'm sorry. And the fourth thing is praying salah alone at your home. So every situation has a different ruling. First is that praying salah with jamaat, right? Yeah, according to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, it is mandatory, wajib. According to other mujtahideen, other imam, it is sunnah muakkada. Right? Now, question is, in the second scenario, you prayed salah with jamaat, with your children, with your wife, with your family at home. Okay? So will you get the same reward, or are you sinning? So the answer is that you will not get the reward of salat with jamaat. Plus, if there was no reason, then you are sinning. Right? Same thing that you remember, if there is a reason like aapa gaadi nahi hai, distance, too cold or raining or whatever, or you have to take care of somebody at home, your old mom, dad, children, there's nobody. So these are like sensible reasons. So you can understand those reasons, right? But just because of laziness, not going for salah with jamaat, that is not acceptable. Okay? So second is that you pray salah, right, alone at your home. Workplace. Work with jamaat. Sorry, yeah, this is the third one. With jamaat at your workplace, right? So again, same thing like at home. If you could have gone to the masjid without big hardship, right, then you should have gone. But if you say that, I have half an hour break, right, for doctors, I have patients sitting, I cannot go, so then these are valid excuses, and inshallah you will not be sinning at that time. So in other words, if you have a valid excuse not to go to the masjid for certain salah, then pray at your home. Now, when you pray at your workplace or your home, whether you pray alone or with jamaat, same thing. Same thing. But if you pray alone at your home, right, and without any valid excuse, that is a sin. That is a major sin. Okay? Because of this hadith and similar ahadith like that. Okay? And on this topic, Imam Bukhari have quoted many ahadith. So I would like you to please pay attention to this, because for men especially, it is a serious.
There is no difference between sawab for praying together or alone at home.
At home.
No difference.
No difference. The only thing is that it helps you. It helps your children. It helps family members if you are praying salat at home. This is for tanzeen, for togetherness, and like say you should make your children pray with you, right? But the salat with jamaat is in the masjid. The reward for that is in the masjid. So Abu Huraira said that Rasulullah himself, in the name of Allah in whose hand is my soul, I was about to order for collecting firewood, and then order someone to pronounce Adhan for salah, and then order someone to lead the salah. Then I would go from behind and burn the houses of men who did not present themselves for the compulsory salah in the masjid. By him in whose hand my soul is, if any one of them had known that he would get a bone covered with good meat, or two small pieces of meat present in between two ribs, he would have turned up for the Isha Salah. Meaning this kind of meat was very likable to Arabs at that time. So in other words, Rasulullah said, if you would know the reward of coming to the masjid, you would have come. But because of your carelessness, you don't come to the masjid. But the point here is that Rasulullah was rahmatul lil alameen. He would never hurt anybody, right? But when it comes to praying salah with jamaat, so Rasulullah said those people, those men who do not come to the masjid deliberately without any valid reason, I would like to burn their houses down. So this is Rahmatul lil Alameen Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saying. Right? So it is not that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wanted to do it. In a sense that Rasulullah never hurt anybody. But Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, by saying this, he's giving a clear message. That bhai, if you can come to the masjid, then you should not pray salah. Now Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal is very, very, very strict on this matter. He says that if you pray salah at home in spite of you being capable of coming to the masjid, then the salah that you pray outside the masjid is no salah. He said it will not count. That's Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He's very strict on that. He said that is as bad as not praying salah. Although this is not the maslak of Jamhur, by the way. Alhamdulillah. The maslak of Jamhur is, the majority of the scholars that no, it will be fine. Your salah would be valid, right? But it is not right. So, Alhamdulillah, most of you come to the masjid, mashallah. But the thing is that sometimes shaitan comes, the prayers at home and this and that. So, try to come to the masjid, right? If you are at work, pray at your work, but if the masjid is close by, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, this is why, those masjids that are frequented by people who are from the working class, right? So the imams of that masjid have to be very particular about time. Salat al-Zuhr and Salat al-Asr. I remember back maybe 30 years ago, one Hindu guy came to my dad and he was telling me, he was an officer in the secretariat, government offices. He was saying that Imam Sahib, you will never hear this. A Hindu came with a fatwa to my dad. He said, Imam Sahib, I want the Islamic wording on that. And that is, he said that I have a bunch of Muslim officers, and they asked for leave to go for Zuhr Salah and Asr, sometimes Asr, and winter Asr as well. So I had given them 45 minutes, but they come very late, hour and a half. And when I go and see them not on their chairs, I ask them, where are they? They say that they are praying Salah. When I come, right, they say, wait, I was praying, come on, give me a break. So he asked that, does Salah takes hour and a half? Or should I, if I stop them from going, right? Do you recommend that? So my dad literally became mad. He said, what you are doing is right, what those Muslims are doing is wrong. 45 minutes. Then my dad said to those Muslims that, you are the one who are making it hard upon others. So you go pray Salah and come back. Even if you think that 45 minutes, in 45 minutes you will pray only Zuhr Salah, only Fard, then pray only Fard and come back. Let's say the masjid is at that distance and you have to have lunch as well and come back within 45 minutes. So my dad said, just have lunch, pray Fard Salah and come back, but within 45 minutes. So Islam makes sense, but if you misuse it, then it's wrong. So for people who are working, right, if the masjid is close by, then pray Salah at your lunchtime. But for Fajr, Maghrib, Isha, very few of us have excuse not to come. Right? So, but if you chose to pray at home, that is completely wrong. Unless you have valid excuse, remember that. We have valid excuse. So, but this hadith, as I said, is the most hard-hitting hadith regarding praying Salah at home or elsewhere. Now, narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar, Rasulullah said that the Salah in Jamaat is 27 times superior to the prayer offered by person alone. Now, in some hadith it is 25%, in some hadith it is 27%. So the ulama have said that the reason for this difference is the effort that you put in. If your house is very far away, you will get 27%, 27 times more reward. But if your house is close by, you will get 25. So the more effort you put, the greater reward you get. Yeah.
Hadith just before that has another version, which says if there are no children or women in the house, you burn the houses.
Yes, that's another house. Yeah, you are right. In this version, there is no mention, right? No. Acha, I think there's another one. I think that one is Sahih Muslim, or maybe it is here. Maybe in Bukhari. Yeah, you are right. If there were no children or women, Rasulullah said, I would have gone and burned the house down. Okay, another hadith number 619 is Rasulullah said that prayer in Jamaat is 25 times superior to the prayer offered by the person alone. So again, it all depends whether it's 27 or 25. It depends upon the amount of effort that you are putting in. Okay, narrated by Abu Huraira, Rasulullah said that the reward for the salah offered by a person in Jamaat is 25 times greater than the one prayed in one's house or in the marketplace. Alone. And this is because if he performs wudu and does it perfectly, then proceeds to the masjid with the sole intention of praying, then for every step he takes towards the masjid, he is upgraded 1 degree in reward, and his one sin is taken off from his accounts. When he offers his salah, the angels keep on asking Allah's blessing and Allah's forgiveness for him as long as he is in salah, meaning inside the musalla. Then the angels say, Oh Allah, bestow your blessing upon him, be merciful and kind to him. And one is regarded in salah as long as he is waiting for the salah. Okay? So these are the rewards for coming in the masjid. Now, all the rewards you will get when you come to the masjid. Okay? This is why at the time of Rasulullah, those who will not come to the masjid, they were called munafiq. That these people are hypocrites. Because if you are a Muslim and you don't come to the masjid, then this is. Now, for example, in Masjid Al-Faruq in Atlanta, you know that huge masjid, if you have visited it, beautiful masjid, they made huge masjid. But the problem there is that they have closed, like I think 80% of the masjid is closed. Because nobody comes. 5 times salah, nobody comes. Very few people come. Okay, but they open the whole masjid on Fridays.
$10 million masjid.
$10 million masjid. The running expense every month is $50,000. I don't know what they do, but the thing is that so they are always in crisis. So the masjids are not built to be abandoned. This is why we are talking about yesterday in the tasawwuf class that the purpose of the masjid is that it should be populated. हम लोग कहते हैं भाई state of the art masjid. We are expanding the masjid, inshallah. People are saying, Hafiz Sahab, it should be state of the art. People should come, they should be impressed. Wow. So the thing is that, brothers, like you go to Spain and elsewhere, huge masjids. Now they are churches because there are tourist attractions now. So if you would populate the masjid, like the Mughals did the same thing in India. Wherever they built a huge masjid, right? But these masjids are not to be just built and left. These masjids have to be populated. So Allah says, "Innama ya'muru masajid Allah man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir." Only those people will frequently come to the masjid who really believe in Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and who believe in akhirah. So Rasulullah said about those who go to the masjid in one hadith, فَاشْهِدُوا لَهُ بِالْإِيمَانِ. People who go frequently to the masjid, not once or twice on Juma only, but frequently every day to the masjid. Then you can give testimony that this person has iman. Okay? So ladies, the ladies, if they want to come to the masjid, they can come to the masjid, but it is not mandatory upon them to come. Rasulullah said that do not stop women from coming to the masjid. So we cannot. It is Rasulullah's hukum, right? But which is more rewarding? Definitely to pray salah at home for women is more rewarding. But if for ta'aleem, for encouragement, for to revive their iman, to get the feeling of the masjid, if they want to come to the masjid, they can come to the masjid. Right? They cannot be prevented. If they want to come, they can come to the masjid. So Sahabiyat used to go, right? Sahabiyat used to go. But later on they stopped when Islam spread and new people were coming to the masjid, then Sahabiya stopped going to the masjid. They will go only once in a while. But if you go. Okay, so another thing is that, my dear brothers and sisters, we learn is that the angels are making dua for you. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Muhammad. So you get the dua of the angels when you come to the masjid. Subhanallah. Now this is so good. The dua of the angels. And every step that you come, now you'll say, Habib, we take few steps only. Because when we are coming to the masjid, we take maybe 10-12 steps from my bedroom to my car, garage, and here I drive my car to the masjid. And when you park your car at the parking lot, how many steps do you walk once you are inside the masjid? Maybe 10, 15, 20? Some people even, park their car in the grass. And although we have put the sign no parking, and you see they park right beneath that. So the grass of this area is completely gone because people just park the car there. So they want to take less amount of steps. Although Rasulullah is saying take more steps. So with each step your status will be raised in Jannah and one of your sins would be forgiven. So the more step now. So I think we should not be discarded or discouraged by thinking that we do not walk too much to the masjid, because at that time Sahaba used to walk. If Rasulullah was present today, Rasulullah would have seen us coming to the masjid driving, Rasulullah would have said the same thing, but he would have used different example. Rasulullah would have said with every turn of the wheel. Meaning the amount of effort that you make, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward. Okay. The
wuzu is also a part of it, right? Like make the wuzu before, not in the masjid, but make it at home or something.
Yes. This is something that we cover in Kitab al-Wudu, that it is highly recommended that you make wudu at home. When you make wudu at home and then come to the masjid, you get all these rewards that Rasulullah talked about. And as long as you are in the masjid waiting for the salah to start, you get the same reward as if you are in salah. Even if you are talking to people, but talking something good, So, and you are not raising your voice and all that, so you get the same reward as if you are in salah. Next hadith is by Abu Salma and Ibn Abdul Rahman. He said, Abu Huraira said, I heard Rasulullah saying, the reward of a prayer in salah, in Jamaat, is 25 times greater than that of a salah prayed by a person alone. The angels of the night, the angels of the night and the angels of the day gather at the time of Fajr Salah. Okay? The angels of the night and the angels of the day gather at the time of Fajr Salah. Abu Huraira then recited the ayah of Quran in Mashhuda. Ya al-Muzammil qum al-layl illa qalila. Okay. What? Qiraat. Somebody help me, brother. Any Hafiz? Kya bhai? Zaid bhai hai? Zaid.
Man kana yuridu nalu.
Ma bhai hadith hai, Quran nahi bhai. Ya inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. Inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. So Abu Huraira recited this ayah. Now Abdullah ibn Umar narrated that the reward of the Salah with Jamaat is 27 times greater than the one offered by a person alone. So brother, the time of Fajr is important due to many reasons, but this is one reason that is given here, that the angels of night and the angel of day, they meet before they part. So when you are praying Salah with Jamaat, right, and since the Fajr Salah is long and the Imam is reading long surahs and you are standing behind him listening, right? So you have to understand that you are not alone there. The angels of both day and night are there. Okay? So the angels, your angels, the angels that are with you, will leave after you are finished with Fajr Salah. So that the angels of night leave, right, witnessing you praying Fajr Salah. And the angels of day come, witnessing you praying Fajr Salah. Okay? So there is so much reward for coming to the Masjid for Fajr and praying Salah with Jamaat.
शहादत देंगे
शहादत देंगे
शहादत देंगे क़यामत वाले
कि भाई you know हमने देखा था. So this is what Allah inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. The qiraat of at Fajr is mashhuda, that will be given shahadat. So people who are sleeping, right, and they let the Fajr Salah go, or they pray at home, they are not. But the Salah that is prayed at home at the Masjid with so many people, mashallah, The next Hadith Sharif is 622, narrated by Salim. I heard Abu Darda saying, Abu Darda entered the house in an angry mood. Abu Darda was a Sahabi that lived after Rasulullah. It was not. This incident happened after Rasulullah left this world. So I heard Abu Darda saying, Umm Darda says, Abu Darda entered the house in an angry mood. I said to him, what makes you angry? He replied, by Allah, I do not find the followers of Rasulullah doing the good things which they used to do before, except the offering of Salah with Jamaat. Okay? According to him, Sahaba had changed. Okay? Or the Tabi'in have changed, but something that did not change was praying Salah with Jamaat. Hadith number 623, narrated by Musa, Rasulullah said, the people who get tremendous reward for the Salah are those who are furthest away from the Masjid, and then those who are next furthest, and so on. Similarly, one who waits to pray with the Imam has greater reward than one who prays and goes to bed. So the first part of the Hadith Chief says that if you are living far away from the Masjid, you get more reward whenever you come to the Masjid. But our ulama, the fuqaha, have said that now this ruling was for Sahaba, but not for you and me. That's the fuqaha have written. Fuqaha have understanding of fiqh. They said now it is recommended that you live next to the Masjid, because Sahaba's iman was not like your iman. They will live far and they will still come 5 times. आप करीब में रहते नहीं आएंगे. But if you live close by, it would be easier for you to come to the Masjid. Okay? So, but here Rasulullah knew Sahaba will come. So Rasulullah said, well, live far away if you want more reward. But mashallah, in our community there are some people, a few months ago I received a call from Gainesville that there was a visiting professor that came to Gainesville to deliver a lecture. On Friday morning he calls me, he said, how far is Jama Masjid from Gainesville? Why didn't you pray Jummah Salah there in Gainesville? He said the problem here is that they have a small musalla. When I want to pray Salah in a Masjid, so he said, I said, you come, but you are Musafir, you don't have to pray Jummah, you pray Zohar Salah. He said, yeah, I know the ruling, but still I would like to come. So I said, well, it will take you around 2 hours, 2.5 hours to reach here. I said, no problem. He said, just text me the address. So I texted him the address, he came, he drove 2.5 hours to pray Salah. So after Jummah Salah, this person came and said, it was me who called you. Now he went back 2.5 hours.
Thank you. 1.5.
You be 1.5 hours. But so this was, mashallah, we have people like this as well. Alhamdulillah. Just for to praise. So mashallah, in our mashallah, Jama Masjid is very blessed. We have so many people, mashallah.
I went over there, but very few people.
Very few in Gainesville. But mashallah, our Jama Masjid is very blessed. So many people, all 5 times Salah, mashallah. very, very nice. In very few masjids you will see so many musallis for each salah. MashaAllah. Sometimes we have three saf. In fact, most of the time in Maghrib Isha we have 3 saf, which is 150 people. MashaAllah. Plus sisters upstairs. MashaAllah. But if everybody in our Jama Masjid neighborhood will start coming, MashaAllah. We need expansion tomorrow. Yeah, MashaAllah. Because the people are buying houses. And the people who are already living close to the masjid, I don't know why they don't come to the masjid. I mean, these neighborhoods, they can come easily. But they just drive past by and they don't come. If they will know these ahadith, this will make them think again why they are not coming. देखिए कुरान शरीफ में एक आयत है सूरह क़यामा 29 जुज़ अल्लाह से फला सद्दक़ वला सल्ला वलाकिन कज़्ज़ब वतवल्ला थुम्मा ज़हब इला अहलिही यतमत्ता औला लक फ़औला थुम्मा औला लक फ़औला अयहसबुल इंसानु अन युत्रक सुदा अल्लाह फला सद्दक़ बल्कि इसका एक दो आयत if you go back अल्लाह से कल्ला इज़ा बलगतित तराक़िया वक़ीला मन राक़ वज़न्न अन्नहुल फ़िराक़ वल्तफ़्फ़तिस साक़ बिस्साक़ इला रब्बिका यौमइज़िल मसाक़ अल्लाह said कल्ला never think nothing think إذا بلغت التراقي when the soul will come to this place called taraqi right at your neck, right? So in a split second the angel is completely going to take your soul out of your body. So it's right here. So Allah will stop the angel. Right? I'll stop the angel. Hold on. 1 minute. وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ. So now Allah is saying, hold on. Now ask this dying person, man raq. Who can save you from death now? Right? The whole body is lifeless. It's right here. Your brain is working. It's right here. Allah saying, waqila man raq. Allah would say to the angel, ask him who will. Raq means who can save you. Right? Wazanna annahul firaq. And the dying person will know that it is firaq. It is time for firaq. It is time to leave. Waltafatis saq bis-saq, and his legs would be joined, his feet would be joined due to the ruh, intensity of the ruh. Ila rabbika yawmaidil masaq. And that day, this dying person will go to his Rabb only. Inna ilayna iyabahum, will go to his Rabb. So waqila manna, who will stop you? Who will prevent you from dying? The answer is not given, because the answer is understood. And that dying person will not answer because he knows that this question doesn't need answer. Okay? It's just understanding. Then Allah will say that this dying person, if he was a bad person, so Allah is saying, Fala saddaqa wala salla. Yeah, definitely he was bad. That's why Allah is Fala saddaqa. He did tasdeeq of Rasulullah, meaning he did not believe in Allah. Wala salla, and he did not pray salah. So in other words, those Muslims who are not praying salah, right? So they have truly not done tasdeeq of Rasulullah. Because if they will do tasdeeq of Rasulullah, they will pray salah. Isko sochiyega. If you really do tasdeeq of Rasulullah nubuwwat, you will pray salah. This is why Rasulullah said, a person who will not pray salah, right? He is doing an act of kufr. So fala saddaqa wala salla. He did not do tasdeeq of Rasulullah truly, and that's why he is not praying salah. Walakin kazzaba wa tawalla. He denied Rasulullah and watawalla, and he showed his back. Thumma dhahaba ila ahlihi yatamatta. And afterward, he just wanted to go to his friends and family and enjoy. No time for Allah. So Allah said, awla laka fa'awla, thumma awla laka fa'awla. 4 times. Allah said, may this person be ruined 4 times. Right? Then Allah said, ayahsabul insanu an yutraka suda. Why does insan thinks that I have created him for nothing? There's no purpose. Khao piyo mar jao. Allah think why suda means for no reason. He thinks that there's no purpose of life. Just enjoy, eat, enjoy, have children, and then die. Okay. So tasdeeq bil Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tasdeeq billah will make you pray salah, and pray salah according to the way Rasulullah have told us, and that is praying salah with Jama in the masjid. That's it. So people who don't come to the masjid, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them, but they don't come because there is weakness in their iman. They have not done tasdeeq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam truly. They believe in him, but not truly as it should have been the case. That's where Rasulullah showed anger, that I would like to burn down the house of these people. So 624. 624 says, Abu Huraira said, Rasulullah said, while a man was going on a way, he saw a thorny branch and removed it from the way. Allah became pleased by his action and forgave him for that. Now question is, what this has to do with Adhan? That a person was going on a way, he saw a thorny branch and removed it from the way, and Allah became pleased by his action and forgave him for that.
He was going to pray namaz.
No. He was going anywhere, because there's no mention of him going for salah. See, this is why Imam Bukhari was a great faqih. When he will narrate a hadith under a certain chapter, right, he wanted to give a message. Yeah, and that is that do not think that that a person who is not praying salah, right, is going to go to Jahannam. That's another thing that we have to understand. A person, like you are praying salah, mashallah, right? And now you should not say that because that person is not praying salah, so he's going to go to Jahannam. That is wrong in Islam. Because we should not pass our fatwas against people who are not praying salah. You never know who could be forgiven. Here, this person was going somewhere. There's no mention of his salah, zakat, hajj song. He saw something lying there that was hurtful for passerbys. He stopped, he removed it, Allah gave him Jannah. Yes, of course, this is huququl ibad, right? But Imam Bukhari is saying that we fully accept the importance of praying salah with Jamaat. Everybody should do it. But if you are coming to the masjid, don't look down upon people who are not coming. I'm समझे ये balance goes. Our Desi people always say, oh, you don't pray salah, you go to Jahannam. We are not there. Allah said, huwa a'lamu biman ittaqa. Fala tuzakku anfusakum. Do not think that you have taqwa. Huwa a'lamu biman. Allah knows who has most taqwa. So people who are not praying salah, they are sinning, they are doing wrong, but that does not mean that they are going to go to Jahannam. Brother Shara, you understand? So there is this balance. You keep on, like Muhammad Thanvi Sahib used to say in Urdu, karte raho or darte raho. Very beautiful example. He said, keep on doing your best to please Allah and keep on fearing Allah. Do not look at people who are not coming to the masjid and then talking bad about them. You never know, one act of theirs would be accepted by Allah and they would be forgiven. And you who are coming to the masjid 5 times and thinking that you are better than others and then backbiting them, you can end up in Jahannam. You see this, Islam mein kya hai? You keep on doing good, right? And just make dua for everybody else who is not coming. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 5 are martyrs, meaning shaheed. Who are those? One who dies of plague, he's a shaheed. One who dies of abdominal disease, meaning in the stomach, you have some disease, cancer or something, and dies due to that, he will be shaheed in the eyes of Allah. One who dies of drowning, right? He was drowned, so that is also a shaheed. One who is buried alive, meaning a building collapsed upon him. In these days, a bomb went off, and he died. So he is also shaheed. And one who is killed in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's also shaheed. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the people knew the reward for pronouncing the Adhan and for standing in the first row and in the Jamaat, and found no other way to get it except by drawing lots, they would do so. And if they knew the reward of offering Zuhr Salah early in state time, they would race for it. And they knew and if they knew the reward for Isha and Fajr Salah with Jamaat, they would attend them even if they have to crawl. Acha, again, you see why Imam Bukhari brought the hadith about Shaheed, right? About Shaheed. What this has to do with Kitab al-Adhan? Again, you have to understand that there's a link between Kitab al-Adhan, right, and Shahadat fi sabilillah, right? What he's saying is that when you come to the masjid, right, and if you meet an accident, you are Shaheed. See, when the muazzin says Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, you say I'm coming. And so if any of these things happen, right, that you are drowned or you are buried alive, or any of these things happen, right, he said you will be Shaheed. Okay, if you are coming to the masjid, right, and you meet an accident, you are in the path of Allah, right? Because when a person leaves the house, comes to the masjid, he's in the path of Allah. Like last week, an Imam Sahib in Atlanta, he was going to lead Salah. He's the Imam of a certain. He left his house, was going to the masjid to lead Salah. He met an accident on Highway 85, died. Young Imam in Atlanta. So he was in the path of Allah. He was going to lead Salah. So the last part of this hadith sharif, the one who is killed in Allah's cause, he's Shaheed. So when you leave the house, you are coming to the masjid and you meet an accident, and that person dies, he is Shaheed. Because he is responding to the call, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah. So he's in the path of Allah. Now again, offering Salat al-Zuhr early, we told you that it is important that Salat al-Zuhr especially should not be delayed for no reason. And then the reward for Isha and Fajr. Now Isha and Fajr, the reward for Isha and Fajr is tremendous. One is that both the Salah, Fajr and Isha are prayed during the dark hours. And dark hours, when you walk to the masjid, come in dark hours, Rasulullah had promised an-nuru tam yawm al-qiyamah. When there will be darkness in Qiyamah, you will get nur. Why? Because you used to come to the masjid for Fajr and Isha. So if you want that nur on the day of judgment, देखिए इतना नूर the zulumatum ba'duha fawqa ba'd idha akhraja yadahu lam yakad yaraha. Allah said that the darkness would be so much on the day of judgment that if you would like to see your own hand, so you will stretch your hand and you would like to see it, you will not be able to see it. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلْ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورٌ فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُور. If Allah will not make nur for you, you will not get nur anywhere. So aap sochiye ke on that day when everybody else is in darkness, mashallah, you have nur. Why? Because you used to come to the masjid during the dark hours of day and night. Okay? So this is a reward for Ajah.
Actually, the Hadith Sharif about the plague and the camel thing, abdominal diseases. How do you explain that from the Hadith? Only in the part when they
when you are in the path of Allah, and or if you are coming to the masjid and you meet an accident, a building collapses upon you, you are drowned.
In other situations.
In other situations as well, same thing.
Well,
Same thing. As Pakistan in Iraq and others, the people come inside the masjid, right, and they blow themselves up, taking so many people along, right? So here people are in the masjid, they came and so they will be shaheed according to this hadith.
If somebody is watching movie and head of
Yeah, it's a valid point. Yeah. If a person is in Masiyah, and that building collapses upon him, he's a Namasiyah, and so will he get the reward? Allah knows best. So last hadith karne phir. Now hadith number 625. 625? 625. Humayd says that Anas said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O Banu Salma, don't you think that for every step of yours that you take forward the masjid or coming to the masjid, there is a reward? Mujahid said regarding Allah's statement, we record that and we record that which they have sent before them and their traces. Surah Yasin ki ayat hai, وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآثَارَهُم. That traces means their steps. And Anas said that the people of Banu Salma wanted to shift to a place near the Prophet's mosque, but Rasulullah sallam disliked the idea of leaving their house habited and said, don't you think you will get the reward for your footprints? Mujahid said their footprints mean their foot steps and they're going on foot. Now remember, if you're walking on a desert, you leave behind footprints. Yeah, if you walk on the beach, you know there are footprints, right? So وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآثَارَهُم means the footprints. So each time you walk to the masjid, you are leaving behind prints. Now, in our situation, we cannot see those prints. If you are walking on the desert, you could see your own footprints. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our footprints, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I'm writing every print that you are leaving behind. So this is another reward of coming to the masjid. So brothers and sisters, coming to the masjid is all but rewarding. Now, these people, Banu Salma, wanted to live, close to Masjid Nabawi. Now they were living far away from the masjid. But when they wanted to come close, Rasulullah stopped them. Rasulullah said, no, live far away. So whenever you come to the masjid walking, you are leaving behind your footprints. And the angels will write those footprints. So if you have the strong iman that you can live far away and come to the masjid, subhanAllah. If not, then buy a house near the masjid. Okay? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understand. Now brother Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, quickly. Now Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, as I said last week, that was a Sahabi of great stature. He was among the 10 Sahaba who were giving the glad tidings of Jannah. Now, if he was not, if he has the talent and the capability to be the Khalifa. Okay? He had all those sifat to be the Khalifa, but he was not. Okay? So, last week I told you that at the time of Abu Bakr's Khilafat, right, he was the third person to take bayat on his hand. And last week, the one extra. Zaid, tum the? Okay, Zaid, tell me what is the name of the place where the bayat took place, the bayat of Abu Bakr after Rasulullah's death? What was the place where because see, this is a very, very historical thing, we should know. Where did the bayat of Abu Bakr took place? I told you that the most nazuk, most critical moment in history was the Khilafat of Abu Bakr. Because if Abu Bakr was not chosen Khalifa, then there would have been big bloodshed right there. After Rasulullah left this world, within few hours, Abu Bakr was chosen Khalifa, everything was settled. So and Abdul Rahman ibn Auf played a very important part in making sure that Abu Bakr became Khalifa right away. So he was the third person to take bayat on his hand. So the place where this bayat took place is called Saqifa Bani Sa'ida. It's called Saqifa Bani Sa'ida. So Yeah. So Saqifa bin Sa'ida was the place where this bay'at took place. So he was Abu Abdurrahman ibn Auf was the third Sahabi to take. And as I told you last week that during the 2.5 years of Abu Bakr's Khilafat, Abdurrahman ibn Auf was there with Abu Bakr all the time. And he helped Abu Bakr in running the affairs of the Khilafat. Then many still, I'll skip those. Okay. Now when Abu Bakr was dying, he was sick. He called Abdurrahman, none but Abdurrahman for mashwara. He said, who do you think should succeed me? And then Abu Bakr said, I think that Umar should succeed, but what is your view? So Abdurrahman ibn Auf said that, well, Umar has all the talents, everything, but his temperament is an issue. He is very harsh. He gets mad very quickly and he's very, very strict. So Abu Bakr said, don't worry about that. He was strict because I was soft. When I will leave, he will become soft. And the responsibility of Khilafat will make him soft. And this is exactly what. So Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, yes, then if you think so, then my vote is forward. So Mashwara, yeah. So then Umar was chosen Khalifa. Now, when Umar was chosen Khalifa, Umar made a Majlis Shura, right? And he put Abdurrahman as a senior member of that. And for every issue, he will do mashwara with the Majlis Shura, and Abdurrahman will always play a very, very important role in that. For example, and sometimes, brothers and sisters, sometimes on some issues, Abdurrahman will have one view, and the rest of the Sahaba will have completely different view. And the view of Abdurrahman will prevail over the rest of them. For example, at the time of the Syrian conquest during the Khilafat of Umar, right? When Damascus was won over, and the issue was that should the Khalifa go there, right? Or the Khalifa Umar should send somebody else. Everybody said that Khalifa should go. Such a big event. By Sham, we have one over Sham, so he should go. It's a big event. Everybody said yes, he should go. Abdurrahman said no, he should not go. He should send somebody else. And then he said that, still things are not that peaceful there. What if Umar goes, Khalifa goes, and he's killed there? If he's killed there, then the situation will be reversed. Those enemies will regroup and anything would happen. So he should not go. And then his view was accepted. So Umar said, okay, fine, I'm not going now. Tell me who should go. That was an issue. So they called, Abdurrahman said, well, he thought. He said, in your place, Ali should go. Ali for some reason said, no, I don't want to go. I said, okay, fine, then who? Then people start thinking. Then all of a sudden, Abdurrahman said, oh, I have a solution. By who? He said, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas should go. They asked Sa'd. Sa'd said, yes. Everybody said, yeah, he's the best person to do this job. He was sent. So the mashwara was that of Abdurrahman. So he had a very, and then throughout the Khilafat of Umar, he was with Abdurrahman ibn Auf was with Umar throughout his Khilafat. Now, another great achievement of Abdurrahman ibn Auf was when he chose, or when he gave up his right to be the Khalifa. That's a big sacrifice. He stepped away from the possibility of being a Khalifa. what happened was that when after 10 years of Umar's Khilafat, when he was killed, or when he was attacked, remember he was leading Fajr Salah in Masjid Nabawi, and a non-Muslim guy came and stabbed him several times from behind. So when Umar fell, in fact, no, when Umar was falling, look at the presence of Umar's mind, it's amazing. So what he was that he took to step behind, grabbed the hand of Abdurrahman ibn Auf. He was praying right behind the Imam. So Umar grabbed the hand of Abdurrahman ibn Auf and pushed him towards the Musalla. And then he fell. When Umar fell, he was in blood, several wounds. So Abdurrahman ibn Auf led the Salah. He shortened the Salah, and then he attended to Umar, and he took Umar home, and then the doctors were called. Now when Umar was certain that that's it, he will never recover from this. He lived for 3 days, in fact, after this. And on the second day, Umar realized that that's it, he will never recover. Now Umar was concerned that who should be the Khalifa. He didn't want to leave the Ummah, right, without any Khalifa. So he thought, so he made a committee of 6 people. And he said, you 6 people should sit down, deliberate, and should choose a Khalifa, and that Khalifa should be one among these 6 people. Right? So it was Ali, Usman, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Zubair, Talha, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf. 6 people. So after Umar, and then Umar said, after my death, within 3 days, you should choose a Khalifa. That's the condition. Within 3 days, you should choose. Do not waste time. So what happened was that the first day they sat down, they deliberated, they said, well, who should be the Khalifa, who should be the Khalifa. They talked and talked and talked. There was no conclusion. They said, okay, you know what, we'll talk tomorrow. Next day they came, they talked. Now the second day, Abdurrahman ibn Auf gave this mashwara that Abdurrahman ibn Auf said that, you know what, instead of 6 people, we should cut it down to 3 people. And then he said, who should volunteer to back off? Who should volunteer to back off? So, and before backing off, he should give his vote. Who he thinks should be the Khalifa. So Zubair said, I'm backing off. I don't want to be the Khalifa. But my vote is for Ali. Okay? So Talha said, yes, I am also backing off, but my vote is for Usman. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas said, I am backing off, but my vote is for Abdurrahman ibn Auf. So 3 people left. Now Abdurrahman ibn Auf was there, Usman and Ali. So there's now 3 people sat down next day. The meeting started like this. Abdurrahman, Ali, Usman sitting. Abdurrahman started the meeting by saying, look, I am backing off. I want to be the Khalifa. Right? But I have to choose. Because there are only 2 people, then I have to choose. So now, Usman, you tell me, why do you think that you should be the Khalifa? And Ali, you tell me, why do you think that you should be the Khalifa? They gave their opinions, right? Abdurrahman ibn Auf took some time. He went. He assembled people after hearing to both of them. He made he called a gathering of Sahaba. They came, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf gave a very inspiring, moving speech first. And after giving the speech, he turned to Usman and he said, Usman, please come forward. I would like to take bayat on your hand. He took bayat, and then the rest of the people came. Right? So that was Abdurrahman ibn Auf. This would show two things. One is his Qurbani and Isar, that he backed off. He said, I don't want to be the Khalifa. But second is how he managed affairs. Huh? So this way, without any fuss, nothing happened. Everybody was happy. Usman was chosen Khalifa. Now Usman ruled as a Khalifa for 12 years, remember. The first 6 years of his Khilafah were full of peace, no problem. Right? Well, Umar had just not left and he had laid the foundation of the Khilafah in such a way that nobody messed with the Khilafah. But the last 6 years, thanks to the Kufi people from Iraq, they made a mess. But once Usman became Khalifa, Abdurrahman ibn Auf said to Usman, I want to retire. I don't want you to come or anybody to come for mashwara, right? I just want to be away from all this and I want to live in seclusion. So Abdurrahman ibn Auf died during the Khilafat of Usman radiallahu ta'ala. At that time his age was 75 and the year was 31st Hijri. 31st Hijri.
When he was proposed, Usman to be Khalifa, is there any opposition?
No. That was
Ali was give bayat to Usman.
Yeah, everybody took bayat. Abdurrahman. बाकी जो सब चीजें वो सब शियों वाली बात है. देखिए, never read this book Tariq Tabari. Tariq Tabari, this guy was Shia, Ghali Shia, and all these rawayat about Ali is all from Tabari. So whenever you see Tariq Tabari, leave it, read some other.
So who was Tabari?
Shia.
The Shia but Muslim.
तारीख है, उनकी तारीख है. भाई आप रीड तारीख इब्न कसीर, जैसे मतलब ऑथेंटिक
हदीस. ये चूज जो किया है तो उसकी 2-3 वजूहत. एक तो ये कि अब्दुर्रहमान बिन औफ रज़ी अल्लाह ने पहले मशवरे किए हैं मुख्तलिफ लोगों से, यानी इसी तरह नहीं कि उसको दूसरी वजह ये कि उन्होंने सवाल किया था उनसे बहुत से कि मुझे ये बताओ कि तुम लोग अगर खलीफा तो आपको पता ही है कि would you follow Abu Bakr and Usman or Umar or not? So as Usman said yes, but Ali said no, I don't promise that, but I will do my best. So that's why
actually I skipped all that because I thought that there will be more questions. That's why Ali said that. So but you are right. He's right. This is how it happened. So anyhow, so Abdurrahman ibn Auf died in the year 31st Hijri. He was 75 years old. He died in Medina and he's buried in Jannatul Baqi. Now, Ali karamallahu wajhu, when he died, Ali said that Ali said great things about Abdurrahman ibn Auf. And then when Saad came to the janaza of Saad ibn Abi Waqqas, came to the janaza of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, he said that he was like a mountain, and his leaving behind, his leaving has created a vacuum, and he is buried in Jannatul Baqi. Next week, brother, I'll talk about his ilm, his akhlaq, his fear of Allah, and his love towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and most importantly, his sifat of generosity. He was a very, very, very generous person, amazingly generous person. Maybe we can learn something from this. One incident I remember is that one time his caravan came consisting of 700 camels, fully loaded with food from Sham. So when it came, there was a big noise in Medina. Everybody, So Aisha said that I have heard Rasulullah saying that Abdurrahman ibn Auf definitely will go to Jannah, but he will crawl towards Jannah. Crawl. Why? Because he has so much money, he has to give answer. Because the more money you have, the more question would be asked. The less money you have, the less question asked. And so he was like such a rich man. So when now the caravan has just come, Aisha said this. Somebody went to Abdurrahman and said, you know what? I had heard Mu'mineen saying this about you. He came, he left his caravan, came to Aisha and said, can you please narrate this hadith to me again? He said, yes, I heard Rasulullah. But there's nothing wrong in it. You will go to Jannah. It's just you'll. He said, okay. So he said to his manager, he said, you know what? All 700 camels, give it to poor people. Infaq fi sabilillah. So big heart. And there are many such stories of him that inshallah will talk about it. Yeah, natural cause. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before we leave ignorant, but dua karni sab. Two issues. Our brother Anwar's daughter is sick. Please make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anwar Sheikh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. I think she's going to have an operation this week. May Allah make it. She's only 6-7 years old. May Allah make it easy and give her shifa. And second is that brother Muqim, Dr. Muqim, he has suffered a heart attack, a major heart attack, and he's in Hyderabad, India, actually. So he's in ICU. So please make dua and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him shifa. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم انت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك ربنا وتعالى يا ذا الجلال والاكرام اللهم ارحمنا بالقران العظيم. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those among us who are sick, give them shifa. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give shifa to brother Anwar's daughter and make her operation successful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, cure her completely. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brother, give shifa to Dr. Muqim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bring him safely back to Orlando to his family. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give him siha and afiyah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give siha and afiyah to all of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us good health. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those among us who are suffering, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remove their suffering. Those who have some financial issues, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make it easy upon them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make us true Muslims, make us the true followers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you give us death upon iman. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله وسلم على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Yeah, I fixed him last night. When you were sleeping, you know what? There were a few balls inside. I took them out because they were stuck. I took them out with a knife or something, with a screwdriver, and then I put them new, and then it started working.
Yay! There was a trigger. Go bring it inside. Please? Oh, your MacBook's right here. Oh, your MacBook's right here. رب زدني علما ألف لام